Hello and good day. We are Group 3 of Grade 11 Leibniz and welcome to our Performance Task 2 in General Mathematics. This slide and video presentation contains about business and consumer loans. At the end of this slide presentation, the learner should be able to first, define and distinguish between business and consumer loans. Second, illustrate business and consumer loans, and solve problems involving business and consumer loans. It also includes amortization and mortgage. So firstly, we need to define all the possible words that may be used in this presentation. So let's proceed to definition of terms. Firstly, we have business loans. It refers to the amount of money loaned out solely for business purposes. Next, we have consumer loans. This refers to the amount of money loaned out to a person, typically from a family member, for personal or family purposes. Next, we have collateral. Assets used to secure the loan. It may be real estate or other investments. Next, we have term of the loan. This means that the total time is took to pay the entire loan. Next, we have amortization method. It is a method of paying a loan on installment basis. We have mortgage. It means that a business or consumer loan, which is usually secured by collateral that specified terms are to be obliged by the borrower. We have chattel mortgage. It is a mortgage that is pertaining to properties that are movable. And lastly, in this slide, we have outstanding balance. Any remaining debt at the specified time basics of a mortgage loan. In the proceeding, we have amortization of a debt. It is the extinction of the debt by any satisfactory set of payments. We also have amortized loan, which refers to a loan paid off in equal payments at the end of equal intervals of time. Lastly, in this slide, we have amortization. It is a form of annuity where the original amount of debt or loan is the present value of annuity. Nextly, we need to define all the variables involved for us to have the knowledge in case we are going to encounter it in the preceding slides in this presentation. Firstly, we have the present value. It refers to the amount borrowed. Next is the future value. Takes in zero because the loan will be paid off after n periods. Letter N is the number of periods, while J is the interest rate per period. And lastly, in this slide, we have payment. It is a loan payment that is made. Nextly, the loan amortization schedule. This schedule is imperative to both parties as they need to know the amount of each payment that goes to the interest and how much is applied to the reducing principal. Next, we have outstanding balance, the amount of the loan at this time or the present time. Next, lastly, we have the prospective method. It is a method used to compute the outstanding balance.
For us to better understand the topic, let us solve some examples. For problem number 1, Lyra has been into baking since the start of the quarantine, and she decided to upgrade her oven into a large one. She wishes to purchase a large oven with a price of 28,500 pesos that requires a 15% down payment. How much is the down payment? The oven is for Lyra's personal purpose, so this is an example of a problem involving consumer loan, and since the oven is a movable property, it is a chattel mortgage. To solve this problem, we just have to multiply the purchase price, which is 28,500 pesos, and the down payment rate, which is 15% or 0.15, and the down payment is 4,275 pesos. For problem number 2 involving consumer loans, Jay's phone got broken after it fell to the ground while he was cycling, so he decided to get a new one. However, he doesn't have enough money. As a result, he takes out a loan worth 80,000 pesos to purchase a new phone in replacement of his old broken one, with a monthly payment of 3,750 pesos on a 2-year mortgage. What is the total amount of interest? We know that the amount of the loan is 80,000 pesos, where the monthly payment is 3,750 pesos, and since it is a monthly payment, M is 12, this is a 2-year mortgage, so T is 2. We need to find the total amount of interest, and based on the given, we could find it by subtracting the total amount and the amount of mortgage. The total amount is computed by multiplying the monthly payment M and T, and after substituting the given values, the total amount of interest is 10,000 pesos. Since we have already given 2 examples of consumer loans, let us now solve for problems involving business loans. Cheryl has owned a laundry shop for 2 years. Now, she wants to expand her laundry business and decided to get a business loan worth 70,164 pesos and is to be repaid semi-annually for 3 years. How much is the semi-annual payment if the money is worth 3.14% converted semi-annually? Round off your answer to the nearest whole number. This problem is an example of a business loan since the money will be used to expand Cheryl's laundry business. Based on the problem, the present value or the amount borrowed is 70,164 pesos, which is to be repaid semi-annually for 3 years, so M is 2 and T is 3. The money is worth 3.14% and converted semi-annually, so R is 0.0314 and K is 2. In finding the amount of regular payment, we will use the formula R is equal to P over the quantity of 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus J raised to negative N all over J. Substitute the given values and the semi-annual payment that Cheryl needs to pay is 12,345 pesos. Another example, Sariel and Marilu are newlyweds and they purchased a 100 square meters apartment worth 1,750,000 pesos. The bank requires a 25% down payment for this kind of purchase. Find the mortgage amount. We need to solve for the mortgage amount, and we know that the purchase price is 1,750,000 pesos and the down payment rate is 25% or 0.25. We multiply this and the result is 437,500 pesos, which is the amount of the down payment. And now, we can solve for the mortgage amount by subtracting the down payment to the purchase price, and the mortgage amount is 1,312,500 pesos. Let us now proceed in solving problems involving amortization. Both James and Cheska decided to settle down and plan to purchase a house and lot with a loan worth 5,499,000 pesos at a 24% annual interest rate with required payable annually for 6 years. Make an amortization schedule to determine James and Cheska's annual payment. To make an amortization schedule, we first have to solve for the amount of regular payment, which is 1,820,576 pesos and 81 centavos. This will be used to fill up column B. Next, to fill up column C, we need to solve the amount allotted for interest, which can be solved by multiplying the value of A or the amount owed on the principal and 0.24, which is the interest rate. Then for column D, we only need B minus C to solve for the amount allotted for the principal. And lastly, E is equal to A minus D, and we will have the outstanding loan balance. And for the last problem we will solve is Caravu bought a Lamborghini worth 45 million pesos and paid a down payment of 9 million. She plans to pay for the remaining balance quarterly at 6% interest per quarter for 10 years. A. How much is the quarterly payment? B. How much is the outstanding balance after the 7th payment? C. How much of the 7th payment goes to interest? D. How much of the 7th payment repaid the principal amount? E. How much is the total interest paid? From the problem, we know that the original price is 45 million, the down payment is 9 million, the rate is 0.06, M is 4, and the term is 10 years, and N is 40. Note that J is equal to R over M, so here J is 0.06 over 4, or J is equal to 0.015. For letter A, we need to solve for the quarterly payment. We will use the formula R is equal to P over the quantity of 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus G raised to negative N all over J. Notice that P is 36 million since we subtracted the down payment from the original price. We will substitute the given values, and the quarterly payment is 1,203,375 pesos and 66 centavos. For B, the question is how much is the outstanding balance after the 7th payment. To solve for this, we will solve for the principal value of the 8th payment using the formula R times the quantity of 1 minus the quantity of 1 plus J raised to the quantity of N minus K. Here, K is the number of payments already made. Since we are finding the outstanding balance after the 7th payment, K is 7. Substitute the values, and the outstanding balance after the 7th payment is 31,142,103 pesos and 86 centavos. For letter C, we need to compute for the amount of the 7th payment which is allotted to the interest. And first, we have to solve for the principal value of the 7th payment using the same formula earlier. But this time, since we are looking for the principal value of the 7th payment, K is equal to 6. Substitute the values, and the answer is 31,867,467 pesos and 50 centavos. We will use this and multiply it by J, which is 0.015, and the amount of the 7th payment that goes to the interest is 478,012 pesos and 1 centavos. For D, we will solve for the amount that repaid the principal amount. To do this, we just need to subtract the interest we solved for C from R, and the 7th payment which repaid the principal amount is 725,363 pesos and 65 centavos. Lastly, we will solve for the total interest paid. We will first solve for the total payment paid by multiplying R and N, and the total payment is 48,135,026 pesos and 40 centavos. And since we know that total payment and the principal value, we can subtract them to get the interest amount, and therefore the total interest paid is 12,135,026 pesos and 40 centavos. That would conclude our lesson for this video. We hope that you've learned a lot from us. Thank you and stay safe.